On this video, I'll be talking about the pros and cons of living in Coral Gables, which is located in Miami, Florida. And at the end, I'll be talking about a con that a lot of people don't talk about. Check it out. Now, I get calls from people like you every day that are looking to move to Miami. So whether it's in 9 days, 90 days, just send me a text message, send me an email, give me a call, and I'll be happy to help you with your move to Miami. Now, let's get into it. What are the pros and cons of living in Miami? Let's get started. If you're new to this channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about moving, living, eating, hanging out, school, parks, what to do in Miami in general, then subscribe, tap on the bell, and be the first to know about everything there is to know about Miami. Coral Gables, Florida is a beautiful city, and that's why it's called City Beautiful. Coral Gables features this Mediterranean architecture, tree-lined streets, lush greenery, and you just know that you're there because everything looks the same in different areas. They're very consistent with the way that they present the city, and they're very picky about what you can do there. So the Mediterranean architecture, the style that was heavy influenced by the Mediterranean, you can see it everywhere. So the arched windows, the terracotta rooftops, everything is cohesive and it creates a timeless look. The city has over 50,000 trees, whether those are oak trees, royal palms, and they're always creating this shaded canopy that you are gonna see in different areas of the city. And that creates an environment where there are a lot of parks that people walk through and families are always gathering. The city was built and designed in 1920s by George Merrick, and it was built with beauty and harmony in mind. Therefore, all the public spaces like the Coral Gables Venetian Pool, the Fairchild Tropical Botanical Garden, Matheson Hammock, they're perfectly maintained because they want to make sure that they can blend easily with the historic landmarks like the Biltmore Hotel and the Coral Gables City Hall. So you don't feel that you're moving from one place to the other and things are different. Everything just merges well. There was deliberate attention to the design and the nature that makes Coral Gables top luxury. And one of the great things about Coral Gables is that it doesn't matter where you're driving. You always know you're there because your surroundings feel exactly the same. Pro number 2, central location. Coral Gables is only 15 minutes away from the Miami International Airport, which makes it very convenient for everyone that lives in that city. You can access domestic international flights without a really long commute. Then you're also close to downtown Miami. You're very close to Brickell, which is only like 15 minutes away. And those are really big hubs for the financial district. And a lot of business, entertainment, and dining spots are around the area. So you're not far if you live in the Gables. Also, access to the beaches. While you're not directly in the beach or on the coast, Coral Gables is only like 20 to 30 minutes away from very beautiful beaches in Key Biscayne and South Beach. And then one of the major points of Coral Gables is that you're connected to major highways. You have US 1, you have the Palmetto on the west side, you have I-95 on the east side. And I'll make a video of the map so you can see what Coral Gables looks like in that area. But you're also just a straight shot to the Florida Keys, to Fort Lauderdale, or even to the train or bus to go up to Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville. You can enjoy world-class art, music, cultural experiences without really going far. You also have shopping, dining, and a lot of different areas around Miracle Mile, Merrick Park. And then if you really want to venture a little bit further, you can go to Brickell City Center and Dayland Mall to get a little bit of the outside shopping experience outside of the Gables. But then again, you can also do it all there. But the location is central and it combines a little bit of the suburban tranquility that a lot of people like, but then you also have that quick access to the vibe of Miami for people that want a little bit of more of an environment, a little bit more upscale dining experience, or going out when it's more of a party. So you can get that whether you're inside of the Gables or a little bit out. Third pro of Coral Gables is education. University of Miami is a prestigious institution and it's renowned for private research, and it's located in the heart of Coral Gables. UM is consistently ranked among the top universities in the US. Obviously, you can imagine the campus. It's beautiful, it's vibrant, it's modern, and it's really big. It's expanding, the university is growing, and everything around it has been changing a lot. Then you also, on top of that, have top-ranked public schools. So Coral Gables is served by the Miami-Dade County Public School, which is one of the largest and highest performance district schools in the country, okay? So you have a ton of students in different schools. For example, the Coral Gables Senior High School, it offers AP placements and IB programs. And the Ponce de Leon Middle School is also known for its rigorous arts and academic program. Then you have ton, and when I say a ton, a lot of private schools. And I'll get into that immediately. So Coral Gables offers a lot of private and public schools. Here's a list, just so you have an idea. When it comes to private schools, you have Gulliver Academy, Gulliver Prep, Riviera Day School, Riviera Prep School, St. Philip's Episcopal, St. Teresa Catholic School, St. Thomas Episcopal, Granada Day School, the Growing Play School, the International Children's School, and the French American School of Miami. So Coral Gables is also served by Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and it offers several public schools like Coral Gables Prep School, the Henry West Laboratory School, George Washington Carver Middle School, Ponce de Leon Middle School, Coral Gables Senior High School, the International Studies Prep School, and Somerset Gables Academy. And I also want to mention that Sunset Elementary is between the Gables and South Miami, and it also serves part of the Coral Gables area. Pro number 4, safety. Coral Gables has some of the lowest crime rates in the entire state. Coral Gables is one of the safest cities, and it has significantly lower crime rates than any other area in Miami in general, okay? They have a dedicated police department that is well regarded for being professional, very quick with their response times, and they're proactive with policing the community. They have regular patrols, visible police present at all times. Then Coral Gables has very strict zoning, okay? And they make sure that their public spaces are clean, organized, well lit, and this obviously deters the criminal activity. They also are very community oriented when it comes to safety initiatives. They have programs like Neighborhood Watch, and they make sure that all the residents and the community interact with the police department to make sure that everyone is safe. They also have invested in technology to make sure that surveillance cameras in public spaces are available. License plate monitoring is also something that they have invested in, and the traffic management system is also something that Coral Gables is known for. But Coral Gables is also all about pedestrian friendly and walkability. There's an emphasis on the walkability that includes well-maintained sidewalks, pedestrian friendly intersections, good lighting, and these features make it safer for residents to walk and bike even at night. They also have a lot of community events. Coral Gables has strong social ties because of all the schools and the people that live in the area. And they also involve the police department in all these activities. When it comes to public spaces, the recreational areas, and all of that, they make sure that everyone is well trained and that they're making the community a part of the people that they serve. Pro number 5, Miami has no state income tax, or not Miami, but Florida in general. So it's one of the most tax-friendly states in the United States. This can go a long way with your finances. So it's really important for you to understand how this benefits you and your family before moving down here. Miami is an incredibly big hub for entrepreneurs and real estate investors. So knowledge around these tax policies, including the deductions, the credits, and everything that can help you maximize this is always a good idea. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, text, and I'll be happy to help you. But a lot of relocating after the COVID pandemic in 2020 was because of the tax advantages. A lot of people wanted to make sure that they could take full advantage of the tax climate, especially because a lot of people were working remotely and there was no need to work at a specific location back where they used to live. Pro number 6, outdoor recreation, fun activities. There's so much to do in Miami. I'm gonna list it all for you right now. There are so many attractions and so many great things to do in Miami. We have all major sports: baseball, basketball, football, soccer, hockey, you name it, we have it. Even Formula One at this point. We are close to Disney World. You just take a bus, you take your car, or you actually can take the Bright Line and you can get there on a straight shot. We also have the Florida Keys, we have the Everglades, you can take a ferry, you can take a flight, or you can take your own boat if you want to, or rent a boat to go to the Bahamas. You can fly to the Caribbean, you can fly to South America. So Miami has a lot, right? But Coral Gables has a lot. Like I said, Matheson Hammock, you can go and park, you can go on a walk, you can go and just chill there. You have stunning views of Biscayne Bay, the marina. You have a lot of areas where you can sit down. Then you have Fairchild Tropical Garden, which is 83 acres of gardens, walking. They have seasonal activities. Those that love nature can just walk and sit there and just chill for the day. Salvatore Park has tennis courts. Phillips Park is a family-friendly park that has baseball, a baseball field, basketball courts. Then you also have all these other areas in the Gables that can give you that outdoor nature, exciting feeling that a lot of people just come to Florida for. And not only that feeling, but that lifestyle that you want to continue investing in, because once you get here, you go outside, you want a little bit more and more of that. There are a lot of walking and biking trails. So Coral Gables is highly walkable with a lot of tree-lined streets and shaded paths, especially Old Cutler Road. It's famous for that. It's a scenic 13.5 mile route that is popular for jogging, walking, and I will make a little video of that area so you can see it. And then there's golfing, the Biltmore Hotel. Then you have the Granada Golf Course, the private Riviera Country Club, and then you have a couple of other areas. You also have the boating and the water activities. You're also next to Biscayne Bay. So when it comes to Coral Gables and everything that you can experience, there's a little bit of everything. And you're smack in the middle of Miami. You're not too far up, you're not too far south, you're in the middle and you can do a little bit of everything. There are also a lot of festivals and outdoor markets that you can be a part of and enjoy. There are farmers markets, there's Giralda under the stars. I made a video of Giralda and that area that has a ton of restaurants. And then very close, a little further south, you have Deering Estates. You have the Vizcaya Museum and Gardens that's close to Coral Gables. And I'll show you a little bit of that in different videos. But again, a lot to offer, whether it's for you personally, for the kids, for the family, for a weekend with girlfriends, for exploring Miami in general, just with your spouse, a partner, whoever it is. There's always certainly something for everyone in the family. Con number 1, high cost of living in Coral Gables. So why do people still choose Coral Gables despite the high cost? Many residents just feel that the beauty, the safety, the amenities justify the expense. So if you're looking into Coral Gables, just make sure that you sit down, you go through the process of understanding the cost, and then you can make your decision based on that. The high cost of living in Coral Gables is a significant factor to consider for those that are in a budget. So I'm gonna break down for you why these costs might add up. First up, real estate prices. So home prices in Coral Gables are one of the most expensive in all of South Florida, with an average medium home price that exceeds $1.2 million. They're surrounded by luxury real estate all over and multi-million-dollar homes. Rents can go from $2,500 to $6,000 on the low end. Property taxes in Florida vary by location, but Coral Gables has higher rates due to the excellent public services that they offer and the higher real estate properties that they have right there. So those property taxes are gonna be reflected in the city's premium home values, which is gonna add a significant annual expense. So you need to budget for that when you're considering buying a property. Then you also have the utilities and maintenance that any regular house would have everywhere, right? But then if you have a specific home in the Gables that's coded as a historic landmark, you have certain upkeeps around those homes that are different and that are gonna set you apart from just a regular property. Another thing to consider is insurance cost. Premiums are a bit higher due to the risk of hurricane and flooding in South Florida, especially if you're buying around the water. Now you also have the everyday expenses. You have your normal grocery store, but they do have more upscale grocery stores, restaurants, and markets. Dining out might be expensive compared to other areas of Miami-Dade. And something that's very important to consider that I talk to a lot of clients that visit Miami is the walkability factor. If you are in downtown Coral Gables, you can walk many places. But most families, I would say 98% of the families own at least one car. That car will take you to the grocery store, to the pharmacy, to school, anywhere and everywhere you have to go, because there is a walkability factor to Coral Gables. But then if you're in South Gables and you want to get somewhere, you're just going to be surrounded by houses. So it's important to own a car and to take that into consideration, because it's not going to be like a big city, like let's say New York City, where you can just go and walk everywhere to run your errands. You actually need a car, and you need to take that into consideration. Another reason for the higher cost of living in Coral Gables has to do with education. A lot of people choose public schools, but private schools can range anywhere from $10,000 to maybe $50,000, $60,000 a year per kid. Now, when it comes to entertainment, going out, recreational activities, fitness memberships, playing golf at the Biltmore Golf Club, marinas, those are significant expenses that a lot of people don't take into consideration. So if it's something that you like to do, that's great. Coral Gables can offer all of that, but it's important to consider that those things will add up to the monthly cost of living within the city. Con number 2, traffic. Traffic can be a downside, but it happens within every major city, and Coral Gables is not the exception. So if you're traveling down US 1 Miracle Mile, you can often experience heavy traffic during rush hour, and that leads to different areas within the city, whether you're headed to the Miami metro area in downtown, in Brickell, Coconut Grove, those areas during the morning or during the afternoon, they're gonna be congested. Also, there's the University of Miami situation when there is a big event at the university. It can cause traffic jams, traffic delays, it'll happen. And while the city promotes walkability within that downtown area, it's very hard to get from point A to point B walking 100% of the time. So for that reason, you're gonna spend a lot of time in the car moving from your house to the grocery store, to the pharmacy, to go to the university, to go to different games, to do things or social events, or have any type of interaction with your friends. public transportation is also limited. You have the Metro Rail, you have public transportation like the trolley, but to get there, you might experience traffic as well. One of the other reasons that traffic is heavy in the Coral Gables area has to do with construction and the development. So whether it's residential, commercial, infrastructure projects, there are always road closures around the Coral Gables area and right outside as well. Then we also have the seasonal traffic variations because of tourism. So obviously during the winter seasons, we have a lot of people flying to Florida and they stay around Coral Gables. They have apartments in Coral Gables and it happens all the time, but traffic varies a lot during the day. Now, during the holidays when school is off, you'll see that there's a decrease in the amount of traffic, but you will still feel that effect during the morning and in the afternoon. Again, a lot of people tolerate it because there is value in the charm, the safety, the amenities, and so many benefits in living in such a beautiful city. So some people are like, okay, I'll put up there with the traffic because I had that traffic when I was living in New York or California. So if I have it now in South Florida, but I have the weather, I have the beaches, I have the restaurants, and I have the lifestyle, why not put up with it? So those are little things to consider. And now I'll move on to the next con. Con number 3, strict regulations. So while this might be a pro or a con, depending on the perspective, it's the only way that they can assure that the city's historic charm, beauty, and the property values can be kept. But at the same time, it's frustrating because they want to make sure that everything looks exactly the same. This is really good for property values, but at the same time, there are restrictions around paint colors, roofing material, window design. So any changes to the exterior of a property needs approval from the city. So you have to go get a permit, you have to go through the process. And if you have a historic property, then you have to go through the process of getting approval from the Historic Preservation Board to make sure that they approve everything. When it comes to landscaping and tree maintenance, they're very strict about keeping everything lush. The tree line trees need to stay the same. And for example, if you have an oak tree, you just can't go and say, oh, I feel like I don't want my oak tree today. And you just go and cut it. No. You need to get approval for that. You need to replant that oak tree and maybe even more oak trees to compensate for taking that one out. They're very, very, very strict when it comes to that. The approval process for permits can sometimes take months or even years, depending on how many projects you want to do around the house. So do you want to build a fence? Do you want to build a pool? Do you just want to change the windows? Do you want to replace the roof? All those things vary. So it's very important for people to understand this because when you buy in a different city within Miami, the changes that you want to do to a house are completely different and those vary city by city. But within Coral Gables, they're very well known for being extremely strict when it comes to going through the process of approval to get those changes made. So you might be asking yourself, why do people actually accept the rules and regulations? And it's very simple. It's because it helps maintain the city's unique character, which in turn preserves property values and attracts the residents that really want to live there. So they see the regulations as a worthwhile trade-off while they live in a city that's meticulously maintained and it's beautiful. Because of the strict regulations, a lot of the city just keeps on growing and growing and growing in terms of the value of these properties. You can have a house that was $600,000 just 4 or 5 years ago that's now valued at 2 or 3 million. And then there are other properties that are on the water that are 20, 30, 40, and even 50 million. So if you want to learn a little bit more about these properties, give me a call and I'll be happy to assist you.